one of the things that has become a genuine mystery to me, you wrote this book, 12 Rules for Life, and obviously it's a deeply philosophical book, but at its core are rules for life like make your bed, stand up straight. And you have become one of the most hated men in America for telling people that. My sister, Caitlin, she's really my sister-in-law, but at this point she's graduated to my sister. Caitlin Flanagan wrote this about you. She said, there are many legitimate reasons to disagree with him on a number of subjects, and many people of goodwill do, but there's no coherent reason for the left's obliterating and irrational hatred of Jordan Peterson. What accounts for it? And being my sister Katie, she then answers her own question. She says, it is because the left, while it currently seems ascendant in our houses of culture and art, has in fact entered its decadent late phase and it is deeply vulnerable. Is that why, do you agree with that? Is that why people hate you?
Fortunately, most people don't hate me. And that is, I really mean that fortunately, because I don't know how it would be possible to live really as someone who was, reviled. When I'm in public, people are very kind to me always, or virtually without exception. I think I've had 2 negative encounters with people publicly, which was plenty, but it's out of thousands and thousands. And why I raise the ire of a certain proportion of people, well, some of that's political confusion, I suppose, and some of it's something deeper. I mean, Nellie Bowles in the New York Times called me sort of ironically defender of the patriarchy, and that's actually true. And I think that's why, at the core of it, I think that's why I attract the negative attention I do when I attract it. Because, and I've thought about too, well, why me specifically? And God only knows the reason for that. I mean, but I have some provisional reasons. And one of them is that I'm an admirer of Enlightenment values and scientific thinking, but I also have deep regard and respect for religious thinking simultaneously. And I think that makes me somewhat unique because I speak for both sides of the patriarchy, let's say, the spiritual and even traditional side, as well as the scientific side. And I mean, I understand that there's tensions in holding those views simultaneously, but there's tension in life. And when we're never in a position where we can solve all the mysteries that are presented to us, I see that the scientific endeavor, the technological endeavor has dramatically improved people's lives on a material basis. And I see that the religious and traditional side provides us with meaning and structure. And we can't throw those things away lightly. We don't want to throw away progress, and we don't want to throw away our higher purpose, or we'll just search for it elsewhere. And I think those are at least part of the reason why, people like to not be very happy with me.
They're always saying
it's odd, though.
It really is odd. I mean, they're always accusing you that you're talking to angry young men. Is that true? And
no, it's angry young white men, because everything has to be about race.
Absolutely,
in our post-race society. Yeah, well, and every time I've been attacked, I've thought about it. Let's say to begin with, but then I'm also willing to give the devil his due. And that one of the things I've come to realize about the latter accusation, which is, is true within a limited scope. Some of the people that listen to me are angry. Some of them are young. Some of them are white, and some of them are men. And there's overlap between all 4 of those groups, an intersectional overlap, you might say. But even if I was only talking to those people, it's like, is that such a problem? It's not like I'm trying to marshal them into some sort of marauding horde. I'm suggesting that, that they have some intrinsic dignity and some worth, and that if they attended to their own affairs diligently and with a certain amount of truth, that's their best hope. Not that that'll work, because nothing is as certain, that's for sure, but we don't have a better alternative than that. And I'm quite tired of the global assault on. I'm tired of the global assault on human values. It's not just Western values. I've been thinking about that too. That's a very parochial view. There's something remarkable about the central tendency of Western culture. But what that remarkable thing is the central tendency of humanity. And I stand beside that, let's say, or try, I suppose, to whatever degree I can, to embody and support and transmit it, which is what a university professor is supposed to do. And so, and I've been trying to puzzle through why it is that those ideas are under such assault. It's very difficult to understand. This emphasis on systemic racism, for example, I've been trying to take that apart. It's a very interesting phrase. It's a very cunning and manipulative phrase, because the racism part of it leaps out at you and yells and stuns you into kind of an ethical silence. And then the systemic is just sort of whispered in there. And systemic is a very serious accusation. It's not the statement that some of our systems, our social institutions, sometimes tilt in a prejudicial direction in a manner that's harmful to everyone, especially those who are suffering from the prejudice. It's the claim that the central tendency is racist. And to me, that's not only wrong, it's the antithesis of the truth. And then I have to puzzle out, well, why is this claim being made when the central tendency is what enlightens and frees all of us, unless we're doomed, unless we're unfathomably corrupt with no hope of redemption, bar the revolution and its hypothetical utopia. And you have to be a complete bloody fool to believe that that's even hypothetically possible.